Hello everyone, welcome back to Let Supreme Goes Thief. We are back with Catacombs of Knoss, Part 2. And in Part 1, we didn't actually make it into the Catacombs, well we did at the very end, but we didn't get to loot it. Now we are headed into the tombs and hopefully finding the grimoire of Knoss then, ultimately. Again, this was originally released for the 20th anniversary contest for the Dark Project in 2018. It was remastered a couple of years later with some fixes, and that's what I'm playing. The first mission was great. It's 8 out of 10. This, however, is top-notch, stellar stuff from Nicked. This is right up my alley. It ticks all the nostalgia boxes for me. You know, a clear homage to Down in the Bone Horde, but it's got a couple of other individual or unique aspects to it that I don't think I've seen in other fan missions that I'll point out as we go along. I really, really like this one. This is 9.5 out of 10 for me. Just a fantastic mission. I know not everyone likes, you know, tomb raiding, undead missions. I like all kinds, but this exudes a sense of isolation and mystique, and just a perfect way to do a tomb-style mission. Nicked, I gotta say, has a fantastic repertoire of versatility in his missions. He can do all kinds. City missions, you know, nature missions, if you think about Turning of the Leaves. But then something like this, which is just so classic, the Dark Project feel. So, excellent stuff. Looking forward to this a lot. Now, before we actually get into Part 2, we're going to load up a save from Part 1, because a viewer pointed out that there was something I missed in 1 that actually bears quite a significance into Part 2, for reasons I'll explain a little bit later. We're now in the bookstore from Part 1 you might recognize. And there is actually a readable here that I missed. I took a statue up here and thought that that was it for the bookstore. But there is an old torn page. The king of the night sun sleeps in his tomb, down in the earth where his light cuts the gloom. His pets scraped of flesh lie waiting to feed, offer fresh meat so their souls can be freed. So this is actually something that can be used to help you get around a problem in Part 2. And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to bring one of these deer legs with you, and that carries over to Mission 2, and then you can use it to avoid something. I don't need to do this, because there's a way around it for Supreme that circumvents having to use this. I'll show you that as well, but I wanted to read that, because maybe some of you also missed it, I'm not sure. So we're going to then load up the end of Part 1, which is after the stat screen, and we're going to continue. There's no briefing for Part 2, but here are the objectives. Sneak into the tomb of the ancient necromancer Knoss. When you've located the tomb of Knoss, find and steal his grimoire of dark magic. Catacombs are usually littered with valuable grave goods. The dead have no need of it. Make it yours. Get at least 3,200 loot. When you have what you came for, return to the catacomb entrance where you started. That sounds great. Now, I mentioned this at the end of The Painter's Wife, that I have gotten a new monitor, so I'm now running this in 1440p, and The Painter's Wife I just upscaled. I found a different program that could do that. But now I'm recording it in actual 1440 resolution. So let me know what you think. I have lowered the brightness, the gamma, a little bit, because I've gotten a few viewers talk about how excessively bright it is. And running it at a higher resolution, I think, will change the codec that YouTube is using to, I think it's called VP9. Which means that it'll run the mission or the video at a much higher bitrate, so a lot more data is packed into each frame, which means that it will not compress it and butcher it as much as it usually does. And I think especially, hopefully, we'll see that in the premiere, because that's even lower in compression than what you can watch it in later. So let me know what you think about the video overall and the quality now. I think this should be as high as I can possibly make it. So we have everything that we got in Mission 1, plus what we started Mission 1 with. The Wand of the Sunken Blades, we do need. So I did take that and bring that, even though I didn't use it in Part 1. But nothing else. Here's a water arrow and a holy water font to begin with. We do have a map, by the way. And this is a fantastic map. We have an entrance area, and it's an auto map at that. An entrance area that takes us down to an ossuary, which is just an old grave chamber, and a chapel. There's also some sections here called Nameless Ancients, King of the Night Sun, Hall of the 100 Heroes, and that can lead us to a water shrine. These maps in this mission reminds me of the maps in Ruins of Origenia. Maybe especially the maps that are found in Mission 2, Gilded Rivalry, in that campaign. I'm not sure if Nick drew some inspiration from that campaign as well, because it does resemble not just the map, but some of the design too. A little bit, but the map mostly. But then we also have a direct entrance to the Tomb of Knoss. Now we're going to find out pretty quickly that we can't go directly there. We have to find and circumnavigate the whole tombs to get there. We have to actually get to the lower catacombs before we can get to this tomb. And in the lower catacombs, we will enter the Tower of Runelight here. That will take us to the Tower of Silence, Tower of Doors, to a Ziggurat of Elders in the southwest, a Tower of Dead Thoughts, and these are all located in a huge undercavern. It's beautifully designed here. And this is the section where you can get to the Tomb of Knoss above. There's also the Halls of Eternal Tranquility that connects to a Burrick tunnel system, where a Burrick colony lives, and also a River of Fire and a Fire Shrine in the southeast here. So we have to do it in this order. We have to do it here, and then these towers we can do in kind of what order we want. But we are it's not linear. There are some choices to make. It's sort of a semi-linear mission, maybe. So let's head down here. Something else I've done is, since I am running at a high resolution, the font on the inventory items got very, very small. So small that I almost couldn't read it. So I have changed an overlay setting in the CamEXD file that renders the font a little bit differently and makes it bigger. And you're going to see too the messages that come up in the top of the screen sometimes are also much bigger. So hopefully that'll make it easier for you guys to see also. Coming down into the tombs here. Right off the bat here we have a sleeping hammer priest zombie. It's actually a sitting zombie, but it is a sleeping zombie. So the best way to avoid growls from him is to drop straight onto the altar here and take these 2 candlesticks, and then we should be able to run out here like that. Sleeping zombies only alert to proximity at their level. So if you are just a foot or 2 above or below, well, above primarily, you will get out of their reach. So you can't drop straight from that altar down here without a first alert. Now this mission unfortunately cannot be Supreme Ghosted. It can be Perfect Thief though. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to keep the Supreme Busts to a minimum. So I'm going to skip some loot items, but of course I will always show you everything, and I will point out all the loot that you have to skip, and how to avoid them and all that. We have a choice here. We can go right or left. We're going to go left first. That actually takes us straight down towards the tomb of Knoss. So here we actually have an entrance to the tomb, but it's not openable from this side. There's a track here that this stone can roll onto.
Damn, there has to be another way in.
So this path here is also blocked. It's caved in. There seems to be an unfortunate traveler here that got stuck, and he has a key. So that key we are going to need. So we got a new objective here. The entrance to the tomb is blocked. Rumor has it there's another way in, deep in the lower catacombs. Find a way into the lower reaches. Let's do that then. So I know that in the original version, you actually could circumvent doing any of this, I think. I haven't played that version, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think you actually could open this panel here from this side. You could actually fob the switch through the wall. That would be an engine exploit, but it would be allowed for Ghost, and that actually avoided several ghost busts, because you couldn't ghost that mission without that exploitation in the original version. That has been fixed, one of the several things that have been fixed. I'll try to point out other places I know have been edited, but I'm sure that I don't know all of them, so let me know if you have additional information there. Now you can no longer fob it through the wall. I think the switch has been moved. Okay, so we're going to head in here. We're first going to make a left. Well, there's a goblet here worth 15. Total 115. This is the chapel. We're going to head in here. We can lean in and grab this purse worth 100. Total 215. And I think we can also go past the sleeping zombie and grab this hammer without any growls. 315. There's no awake enemies in this part of the mission. Over here, this is not a sleeping zombie, but it's someone else. There's a holy water vial, if you need that. And there's a readable letter to Zoo. Zoo, if I were you, I wouldn't worry about Maurizio. Threats are one thing, but I doubt he'd seriously want to engender the wrath of our master. Still, if you're intent on venturing into the catacombs, I dug up some old books about them. They were unclear about where Knoss is buried, but I can tell you that the lower levels are sealed with elemental wards. You'll need to find talismans of earth, air, fire, and water to unlock the gate. These are hidden throughout the upper crypts, and finding them will not be easy with the dead roaming about. Take some holy water, or better yet, don't go at all. Your friend, Wrathborn. Well, we are going to do neither of those. We are going to go, but we're not going to get some holy water. We don't need that. Alright, let's head upstairs here. You can go up the other way too, but there is a sleeping zombie that you cannot fool, I think. And here's a stack of gold coins, is it? Total 340. Alrighty, let's...
Time to raid some tombs.
Indeed. Okay, so now we come into the ossuary from the east. This is a multi-leveled area, and there are some floating lanterns around. They're not enemies, they're not AI, but they are light sources, so they will catch you, or others can see you if they light you up. Let's head into this room first. Here, there's a banner with some loot behind and a healing potion. We cannot slash the banner, that's property damage, but we can take these things through the banner. Total 402. We're not going to take the healing potion. You can drop down here as well, the rope arrow. There's said lantern. They function like enemies. They're probably modified enemies. Neutral enemies, maybe. Okay. We're not going to go this way. It takes you out into the Hall of the 100 Heroes. Let's see. Instead, we're going to go this way here. King of the Night Sun. So we have to be careful here, because there are, I think there's 3 or 4 levels, and there's a zombie patrolling on each level, and there is quite a bit of light here. On each level. 4 levels. This is actually pretty bad timing, to be honest with you. Yeah, it is. Here. Sneak around this way. Zombies aren't that difficult to sneak around. Here's the ladder down for us. Actually, there is a stationary zombie behind the ladder, so we can't do that. Let's wait for this guy to pass. So we have to drop down to the lower level. This guy freaked the living daylights out of me because I didn't see him the first time I descended here. Okay. So I'm just going to go up here and show you guys something now. It's on the top level. There's a secret that we have to skip. No. Yeah, should be here. There it is. A switch that opens this. And here is a scepter that you can take that is worth 100, but it's a light source. It's a very clear light source. We're not allowed to remove light sources for Supreme, so this one we have to skip. That's just the name of the game. But there you have the secret. There, we're going to drop like this. And then we're going to go down here to the bottom level. Here we have 4 green vases. Let's go this way. Worth 50 each. So we can sneak across slowly here. Might actually get caught by that guy when he turns. Depends. $602. I want to go back to this corner here. Okay, so when we open this, get the Talisman of Air, these thingies spawn. These are freakishly modified spiders. Bone spiders, I call them. And you saw that a trap sprung as well. Right there. No, a trap did not spring. It sounded like a trap sprung, but there was nothing actually shot out. It just made a trap sound. So that does not bust Supreme to take that. However, of course, we can't get caught taking it. The way around this, and that's what I'm going to load up this save for. If you remember the readable that I showed you in the beginning of the mission, we can, now I have a deer leg, you can drop a deer leg here, gives you a little sound, and it spawns these two spiders upside down, which makes me think that they are dead spiders. We haven't actually killed them. This doesn't show up in the stats or damage or anything like that. But it doesn't feel 100% right to do this. It looks like almost, I mean, I'm sure that they were already dead before, but it requires the pickup and use of a deer leg, which is necessary. So I'm not going to do this. Instead, I'm going to try to get these without getting spotted. Oh, okay, I didn't think it was highlighted, actually. Yeah, that guy actually saw me. Okay, now I did not get caught. So it makes a trap sound, but that is not triggering a trap. You can actually drop here without getting heard. So now we took the Talisman of Air. So that I think is okay. Spawning those enemies is not a must. There's nothing in any rule that says anything against that. And it avoids picking up and using a deer leg. Using it wouldn't be a problem, but picking it up is unnecessary. And it also feels like we're killing these things, even though they weren't present from the beginning. So we're going to leave this way. We're going to take 2 coins. Aren't those the coins for the ferryman to cross the river Styx? Isn't that the legend? That's why they put coins in the eye sockets of dead people back in the day. And now we are entering the Nameless Ancients. So that was the alternate exit from King of the Night Sun. Most of these areas have more than one way in and out, which I think is great. It just makes it a lot more flexible in terms of the route you take throughout the mission. That's a sign of a good author, I think. If you have more than one way into and out of the major areas of a map, if you're forcing the player into a narrow area that takes you in and out, then you remove some freedom, but I also think that you make the mission less enjoyable because you are not giving the choice. You can't always do that, but anyway. Here is a blue vase worth 100. 722. Now, we are going to come up on the first inevitable Supreme Bust. There is another sitting but sleeping zombie here in this archway. We have to go into this cave. We need 3 more talismans, and I think the Talisman of Earth is down here. This is our way out. Back to the ossuary. In this cave you have an artifact worth 20. Oh, my bad. But I don't think that you can. I don't think that you can get through here without a bust from that zombie. Maybe there is a way. I was thinking that if you could find something to drop on the ground, corpses or boxes. I don't think there are boxes that are, or boulders that are movable in this mission. Then you can maybe make a little stack and mantle up it. But I don't think there's enough room, because its proximity, it reaches farther than that. Then you have to get back out and you have to return all the items. So I didn't experiment maybe as much as I normally would. I totally would have if this is the only bust for Supreme. So I don't think there's any way around taking a first alert growl here. But if anybody wants to experiment with objects and get through this archway, either of them, really, that's a first alert, even though he doesn't wake up. It is a first alert, and it is a Supreme bust, unfortunately. The next room we have a blue vase. And then here we have Talisman of Earth. But there is a arrow trap that gets triggered when you open the chest. Nothing you can do about that. That's another Supreme bust. And then now you either have to leave this open, which is the Supreme bust, or close it and trigger more traps. So I'm going to close it, but it doesn't really matter. So we've now taken 3 busts already, but all in the same area. If we continue this way, there's another artifact worth 812. That's max for this section. And there is, I think there's a mine here, and then a scroll that we can read. Ethric, if you're planning to break into the catacombs, I've heard tell that the architect who built the upper levels for the Hammerites, a genius known only as the Mathematician, was interred inside, along with his greatest treasure. According to folklore, the key to gaining access to his tomb lies in this rhyme. 5 of the 100 standing tall, they guard a secret, one and all. First of the 100, top northwest, he is the man who can tell it best. I wouldn't dare the catacombs myself, but if you were brave enough, you could be a rich man. So top northwest. Let's remember that, shall we? I wouldn't dare... Sammy. Drop that back. Mine here. And then we have to go back out. But since it's been a while, he has sort of settled down from the first alert, which they don't give a settling remark for when they're sleeping. So he won't wake up again. He'll just give another growl. So that's the 4th Supreme bust. See, it's still sleeping here. So that's 4. Now those should be the only 4 Supreme busts, and they're all in the same area. There's no way to Supreme this mission because you cannot take the Earth Talisman without triggering traps. That it's directly linked to it. So unfortunate, but that it is what it is. Okay, now we're back in the ossuary. We're not gonna go this way yet. That's the exit. Oh. That was unfortunate. Bad timing. Let's do that instead. Oh yeah. In here, there's actually a very well hidden artifact. 832. take. And now we are going to head into the Hall of 100 Heroes. Right here. And this area is not dangerous at all. There's no enemies besides these lanterns, but there's no living enemies right now. So there are, it's called 100 Heroes because there are on each level, I think there are 10 levels, there are 10 caskets. So there are 100 people that have been buried in here. So we're going to head up to the top level. And you ascend and descend on this side. So we don't have to be worried about making noise right now. So top northwest, remember that? This is the top level. This is northwest. Back here, there's a switch. And that actually opens a new tomb on each level. Or maybe not each level, but 5 of the levels, I think. Oops. And it's each of those caskets that were sideways, or vertical, standing up, that have opened up. The first one is here, and each of these areas, new areas, has a stationary zombie. And each of them has a piece of loot. So here's a rug, total 982. Now, there are numbers, and there are switches on each of the numbers, as you can see. But there is a plaque. It reads the same in each of these tombs. In 5 little rooms with numerous walls lie those great men that built these halls. Add them up with a push to their feet and count up the walls for the value to meet. So we have to count up the walls and then add up the numbers that we choose to push. That should meet the number of walls in the room. So if we count the number of walls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we basically have to flip switches until we get to the number 5 then. So then in this room that's easy because it's just one switch. And when you get that little chime, you get these particles rising up, that means it's good. This just resets the switches. So I want to go back and reset the switches afterwards. But I don't have to do that now. Now at the end of some of these beams are chests. All of these chests, unfortunately, are triggered by traps. Or they're protected by traps. So this is a fire trap. And when you close it too. So you have to trigger 2 traps to get these loot items. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to skip these loot items as well. So this is 100. We've skipped 200 then with the scepter in the night of the King of the Night Sun. Oh, get away. Okay. Well, let's go down to the next level. So you see this tomb is exactly the same looking, except for there's a different piece of loot. In this case, a statue, 1057. The message is the same, but the number of walls are different. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have to now, in this case, I think we have to do 4, 2. So then we get the chime again. And that's just the way it works. So on this end, there's not just. Okay, so now we're sort of on the 4th level down, because there's this level in between that doesn't have a beam that goes across. It has one that goes this way. We'll get there in a little bit. Here's a tiara, 1182. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 walls. So now we can maybe flip 5 and 2. That should be good. So in this chest too, there's loot, and this is protected by traps as well. This is a regular goblet, so that's 15 more. That's 215 so far that we have to skip. Now we want to get up here. Oh. Get a little bit closer, maybe. Yeah, that's good. Oh, jeez. Don't know why I did it wrong there, but... Okay. So if we go into this area, we get to the lower level that we saw from above earlier. There's a water arrow underneath this pipe. More importantly, there's a gold goblet here. 1207. If we go the other way... then we are actually on our way down to the water shrine. Some long tunnels here. Wow. Okay, let's make the plunge. Okay, here is an entrance, it looks like. This is a pretty tight swim. But you can't make it. There. So here we have then what we assume to be a water talisman. We take that trap, and 2 invisible haunts spawn, and they will see us and catch us, no matter what. So this is what the Wand of the Sunken Blades is for. If we use this wand on these blades, then It maybe sounds like it is a death noise, but there's no corpse here, and there's no, again, damage or anything showing up in the stats. So this is not going to be a bust for any mode to do this. And when we do that, there's no trap triggered either. We can take the Talisman of Water free and clear. Now I want to go back down and get these back up again. I feel that's right. Now this was something that was added, I know, for the remastered version, because there was complaints that you got caught by enemies so easily. Now you can take the talisman and then just run out here. They'll run after you, but they won't catch up to you if you make it for a straight shot. There, now we can make our way back up top. Close to up top. So that's why I don't count this as an unnecessary pickup in mission 1. Now we actually come out on the lower level. So we're gonna go back up. Let's see. I think we need to go back up 2 levels, don't we? Yeah, I think so. Because that's the level, the beam there that we were on. So we're on level, the 6th level down, I think. So, 8, 9, 10, yeah. Something like that. This is the 5th level, 6th level, yeah. Actually, let me make a real save. I haven't done that yet. So on this level, we have another Tomb of the Mathematician. And there's a regular artifact in here. 20, 12, 27. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 walls. So we can do 7 and 1. Here we go. Get the chime there to indicate it's correct. And we have another loot item that we have to skip in this chest. There. I think this is a gold plate. Yes, correct. And it's protected by arrow traps. So that's 50 more. That's 265 total that we have skipped. And we have 1 more loot item to skip, I believe. Now, here is a statue that sticks out. That indicates there's something special on that level. All it is a fire arrow. But go down to the next one. There we go. I don't think there's anything you can climb up to here. So we can just go all the way to the end. And here is the last one we have to skip. This is, I believe, a necklace. Yeah, a necklace and an arrow trap straight at you. So you can avoid that, but of course you can't avoid triggering the trap. So that's 465 then. This is worth 200 that we have to skip. And that should be the last item. So 465. We should have... yeah, 1227 now. And in this tomb is a rug worth 150, 1377. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what if we do 5, 4? So that sound indicates that the tomb to the Mathematician is open. The main tomb. Now you might see here is a statue with glowing eyes. And there was a readable in the first mission. I think that was the one we found in the hidden basement of the Necromancer Spire. It talks about glowing eyes and whatnot. If you use a holy water vial and shoot this with a holy water arrow, you prevent the triggering of the 100 heroes that will come when we take the talisman down at the bottom here. But that is an unnecessary pickup, and I don't like to use items if I don't have to. So I'm not going to do that. You can sneak out of there without getting caught. So until they spawn, there are no enemies down here. So this is the main lower tomb. We're going to head in here now. So this is the Mathematician, the architect here interred. Mathematician's chisel. Greatness comes not from gold or wealth, but honest toil. That must be worth a lot.
You've got to be kidding me.
So we got a chisel. I gained entry to the tomb of the Mathematician, and all I got was this lousy chisel. Okay, I don't think this can be dropped back, can it? It can. Okay. And we got the objective still. It doesn't uncheck, so we can do that. We don't need that chisel for anything, but I'll leave it here since we got the objective. So it doesn't have any value, that item, but it does provide us with an objective. That's why I went through that, and I'll also reset the switches for that puzzle. So here at the end we have a dead thief. And Talisman of Fire. Now when we do that, the lower 2 levels has one of these ghost archers spawn. They spawn in hunt mode, so they haven't detected us, so this is not a bust. They will settle down eventually, and they'll be fine. We just got to be a little bit careful getting out of here. Oh, now that guy came down. That is not good at all. That is not good. Okay, I don't think anyone saw us there, because we were out of there. We were behind hard cover before this guy came. Good. That was an unfortunate floating lantern, wasn't it? Okay, so now we have all the talismans. You can see that they're all settled down. Now all I want to do is go back and reset those switches. And that should also close the tomb entrance, which you could do from the inside. See, I just want to go down and make sure that that closed it. That I don't have to actually close that manually from the inside before I reset the switches. I think I remember it closing. Yes, it did. Good. Don't think they actually can see you or hear you. Well, maybe hear you from this high up. That was 2. There should be 2 more. No, this is... Yes, it is. It is on this level. Let's see. Well, there should be 5, so there should be 1 more we have to reset. That should be on the top level, and we also have to remember to close the actual entrances to these puzzle chambers, which should also be on the top level, right? Yeah. I have to go slow here because this guy will alert to clanging on the tile. There we go. Now we have reset all the switches, which I don't know if is strictly speaking necessary, but we have closed all the panels. And we did not get spotted by any of those ghosts. Okay. So now we are going to go all the way down, aren't we? Because now we have all the talismans, don't we? Yeah, 4. See, I don't like saving close to these zombies because of those lantern things. See? That's what I mean. So if we go this way, I think we'll be safe. That's the chest that we took the loot in earlier. Okay, now we can go in this way. Here's a fire arrow, and it's a room with some stuff, but there is a... or it's maybe on the next one. There is a ring or something. Yeah, there we go. A gold nugget in the hand of that skeleton. 1477. Okay. So down here we have to use the talismans. But there is a sleeping zombie there. So if I do that, I will avoid that gaze. Talisman of water. Oh, that's not water. That's water. Fire. Earth. Wind. So this we cannot redo or close up again. Don't think there's a switch on the inside either for this.
This looks like the way in.
It does. Here is a dagger. Sword we can take. 1532. Worth 55. Strange value. So now we are entering the Tower of Runelight. So we're now in the second part of the map system. So things are going to get increasingly interesting here. So here is a zombie. Okay, you can jump over that. We just have to wait for that other patrolling zombie to come out. If you stay above, there's sort of a radius around them. So if we jump over the part that we're touching that radius of in the beginning, we should be good. Hears it. There we go. So we're going to go this way first. And we can see down to the lower levels of this Runelight Tower. But if we go this way, is one entrance through a balcony here. We want to jump over here. We are landing not enough to Did we get spotted there? No, I don't think so. Tower of Silence. So we've actually skipped from balcony to balcony on the upper level to the Tower of Silence. And this is a cool place.
What happened here?
Here we have what looks like an air mage that has been frozen in air. Or frozen in time and place. Here's an earth mage, it seems like. And down here we have some other people. Something has happened, and there is some huge skull symbol floating in the middle here. Very cool place. Eye of Knoss. We are going to need that. So there is a way into the Tower of Silence here. You can use a rope arrow, But this is a very, very exposed area, and there's lots of patrollers down on the bottom level of this cave, which is an amazing cave, by the way. So it's difficult to gauge, especially that light source there will keep you exposed, so I want to avoid this. Vine sounds. So we needed that Eye of Knoss. Let's go this way now. This is the middle level here. I don't think you'll get spotted at all if you're behind this half wall. Let's go in here. This is a trapped room. As long as you stay out of the light, you're fine. Artifacts. Brain of Knoss. That we're going to also need. Another artifact. Golden cup. And a ring, 1697. This way. Okay, this can be a little bit tricky in here. Depends on where this guy is.
This looks interesting.
Oh, he does a weird turn. I know, I remember that. He does a weird pivot at a certain point.
This looks interesting.
Let me go back here. So this is strange. This is the Talisman of Attunement. So if you take this, wherever you are, you can use it and teleport yourself back to this area. I think you can drop this. No, you can't. You can't drop it. So for that reason, I'm not going to take it. It would be useful, but it's not essential. So next to that skeleton there is a healing potion on its belt, so to speak. Okay, so now we're going to head into the bottom level of Tower of Silence. You can hear there are some patrollers down here. So now we come to the level we saw from above. Two fire mages. Maybe a water mage and another earth mage. I don't know, there's... Something has happened here, a fight of some kind. Another air mage. Alright. Let's read this. Mage's Letter. Corwin, to gain access to the Tomb of Knoss is no simple task. It was sealed with his own body, the parts of which were scattered throughout the catacombs. The only reference I could find was a passage in the writings of Archmage Endelred, which I have enclosed. It should go without saying that you should be careful. Beware the unquiet dead and the traps meant to ensnare grave robbers. But above all else, beware your fellows. The runes speak of a betrayal, though from whom I cannot say. Be on your guard, and the treasures of Knoss will be ours, Xavier. So this betrayal here has probably taken place between the mages, and that's why there's been an infight going on. But I'm not sure why they've sort of frozen in place. So this is then the part from the Archmage writings. The usurper was struck down and held with bindings both physical and spiritual. His mortal frame was then desecrated, such that his necromantic powers could not allow his soul to regenerate. First, his organs were cut from his living body and placed into sacred jars. His heart was hidden amongst the forbidden texts of the Tower of Dead Thoughts. His stomach and liver we set up atop the Ziggurat of Elders, guarded by the Carrion children. His brain was placed in the Tower of Runelight. His casting hand was lopped off and sealed within the tomb of Radok the Alchemist. His silvered eye was plucked from its socket and placed high in the Tower of Silence. The rest of him we burned until long after his unholy scream stopped, and his ashes were placed in the lowest vault, where the earth's fires roar. His possessions we sealed into his tomb in lieu of his body. So that gives us quite a few new objectives. It seems you'll need to find parts of the desecrated corpse of Knoss himself to gain access to his tomb. Find his heart in the Tower of Dead Thoughts. Find his stomach and liver in the Ziggurat of Elders. Find his brain in the Tower of Runelight. We just took that. Find his hand in the tomb of Radok the Alchemist within the halls of eternal Tranquility. Is Tranquility with 2 L's or 1 L? I think it's 1 L. Find his silver eye within the Tower of Silence. We did that. Find his ashes in the lowest vault. Okay. So we have found our way into the lower reaches as well. I don't think I said that. Now this one we can draw back. We don't need that. Let's see. Here's a water arrow. We're gonna head out here. Gotta be on guard. There is an apparition here. It's quite creepy looking. I don't know. I love the way how her right hand sort of wobbling in a weird way. I haven't seen that before. Small things like that make it extra creepy. So we have now a couple of options. We can head west, south, and east. I think that actually was I think that was an alert right there, so I don't want to do that. In here. She doesn't see me from that distance, no way. She's not that alert. So now we're in Tower of Doors. So this is a puzzle area. There's no enemies here. Follow my song through earth, air, fire, and water. So when you go over to these doorways, will hear, typically you'll hear that sound. If you go in there, you'll just get teleported back into the middle here on this level. But if you hear that sound, then you will actually get to the next level. And now you hear some, what sounds like trickster steps. That's just audio, I think. I don't think there's anybody nearby, or at least not anything that can access us. Here's a moss arrow. So I guess now we're in the Earth Tower. here we can go in the south area to go to the next one. Here's a gas arrow. Then it's southeast. Come to the fire tower. And then it's north. Here there's more and more of those things patrolling. And now we're in the water tower. There's a water arrow. The northeast area, we will get to the actual end here. And the reason we went here, if you look at the map, the Tower of Doors lead to the Ziggurat of Elders, where we can find 2 of Knoss's organs. So we're going to do that right now. So here, be careful, because sloping down will speed you up, and there are enemies that can see you from quite afar, actually. So remember the readable said that there is a trap here as well. If you jump over it, you won't trigger it. The Ziggurat was protected by the Carrion Children. Probably my favorite new enemy in the mission. So here we have the Ziggurat. Here comes a Carrion Child. I just love these things. I mean, they're creepy, they're intimidating and scary, and make very cool sounds. I'm gonna go in here. Krynak the Burned. And Delred Bloodsinger. There's a mask here. Mask on each of these that I'm going to take. Skycomber Yerinus. Letwen the Sarcastic. Gishla the Viridian Haze. Now there is an enemy here. And they make little howls, like from Constantine's Manor when they catch you. Akalesh Flamecaller. So here, you can see something weird. We do not need to. Wonder if that was an alert. Let's see, here we have Falskrit Planewalker, Alakon the Tunneler, Michael Deepseed, Jolpeth the Librarian, Wernan Ever Drowning. 1972. That's 11 masks on the bottom level. Head up to the middle level. Not sure what... There is one of these Carrion Children on each level. I think that they go counterclockwise. There is one in here, yeah. So I think the only way to skip this one is... or to get... Whoa, did not see that. Here, Norgwil Eyeshadow, and Mirabilis the Talented. 2 masks there before we can head up to the next level. 2022. We have not gotten spotted yet. Stomach of Knoss. Oh yeah, we can't get that checked off until we also find the liver. Right. Go in here, you can find the liver, except it drops down to the next level. So then we gotta go and take it on the level below. Down to the next level again. Now I'm gonna go around here actually. There, because on this level, Ziggurat the Disgraced. It's another mask here, 2047. That's right, there's two. There's two patrollers on the bottom level, that's right. So now we're actually... Now we can go back, hopefully. That's the sound they make for first alert. I just wanted you to hear that. They have pretty distinct sounds, a little bit elevated in volume. Right there. I didn't think so. There we go. Now we have stomach and liver. I still don't get, in Thief 1, objectives chimes when we finish them. I don't know why. I've updated to TFix 128 and everything. But for some reason. So I gotta actually keep track of which objective I finished. There we go. I just wanted to go backwards to make sure nobody saw me on the upper levels. Here. Skip over this. Okay. So now we're good. So now we can teleport. Okay, she's on her way the other way. That's good. Because we can do that and then drop straight down there. So now we are going to go south into the Tower of Dead Thoughts. And here is a haunt. Now, if you kill this haunt
looks like this must have been some sort of library.
From the back, a new one will spawn on the top level and come down. So you can never run out. This area will always have a haunt. It will spawn from that. What we are going to do is flip 4 books. Oh, well, we definitely got caught there. Just unfortunate, really. Here's the second one. Here's a purse. 2147. Now the haunt goes all the way down and then comes all the way back up, so he's gone for a while. Just save under here. There's 1 book for each element, it seems like. I don't think any of these books are readable. Here is a gold candlestick. 2197. And then when we flip the last, or from the last book on the bottom level, we should get access to the Heart of Knoss. There's the Heart of Knoss. There's also a candlestick here. There we go. Nobody saw us there. I think we're safe here. This is the entrance to the Tower of Dead Thoughts on the bottom level. Good. So then we found the heart as well. So we have the hand and we have the ashes left. So the hand is found within the Halls of Eternal Tranquility, which is the most difficult place to go to. And then the ashes are found in the lowest vault, which is down through the Burrick tunnels and into the Fire Shrine. But you see that you can access the Burrick tunnels from the Halls of Eternal Tranquility. So here we have zombies, we have spiders. This is a new one, isn't it? It's just a small spider, I think. I don't think we can do anything about all these papers. We've made a mess, but hey. It's pretty dark down here. The only thing of really of interest down here, just on the ground, is this tiara, 2372. Okay, so here we have a fallen building. This is where I showed you up to the Tower of Silence. And we're going to go up there, but we need to lead to the Halls of Tranquility. Now down here is the Tower of Alaris. Now you might remember the Alaris extension was a part of the original Bonehorde mission, and it wasn't accessible, and many people have wondered up through the years if the Alaris was actually accessible, at least in early days before we knew the full missions. People were trying to find an entrance to that area of the map, but of course it doesn't exist. So it's become a little bit of an elusive thing where I think there's some missions maybe even that have the Alaris extension as a part of it. I don't know if I've played any of those. So it's become sort of a thief meme. Along with other things like the Gems of Sarnath, isn't that what it's called? Things that are mentioned in the original games, but that never was elaborated on, that's become sort of a mystery. So I was dark until I mantle. When you mantle, you don't actually elevate your visibility. And now I'm just creeping, so... Halls of Eternal Tranquility. So there's nothing that can see me here, like this. Okay. Save here. Okay. So there is... difficult here because we need to drop down onto this ladder. Or we can do that. That might also be possible. Zombies that see me here. There's a lot of patrolling zombies. So we obviously can't do that. I'm just trying some things out here to get down here a little bit easier. That zombie sees me anyway. Let's just wait, I think. That zombie that is on my level will come up here and in here. Go out on that part of the balcony, maybe. Yeah, there's no way to come out here until he is gone. Have to wait here. I mean, if I hadn't experimented, we would have been able to leave at this point. So these halls here are a direct nod to Bonehorde. They have octagonal vaults and a little bit of a maze to get through. Okay, so I think actually we can do that. Sure. Good. Okay. There's a bone. I want to take that. And then in here, 2 gold goblets. I do want to read. Do want to read this. Merrick, we must split up to cover more ground if we're going to beat the others to the Tomb of Knoss. My trust for the fire mages especially diminishes with each passing hour in this cursed place. Go to the halls of Tranquility. There, the hand of Knoss was entrusted to the alchemist Radok. Find and return to his coffin his scattered bones of gold, so that his spirit might find rest, and the hand can be ours, Corwin. So we got one of those bones. We don't have to return them because they become loot at one point. So there's 5 of them, I think. The upper level here doesn't have anything just to get down to this level. This is the entrance to the Burrick tunnels. We're gonna go this way. Here, there's traps, but I think we can actually drop all the way down to the bottom. Into the water. Oh, I thought we could come out in this. I thought we could come out in this level and be safe. Here's a purse. Now we're between these two guys. I'm gonna drop down here. 2502. Okay, down here is another bone. It's a skull. And then up here floating. I don't know what kind of, well, it's got to be sealed and have air inside of it to float, I guess. Is a bottle of wine, 2552. We're going to move on to the next level, or next vault. That can only be, this is a one-way path here. Get a ring. 2687. We can jump up here. There we go. Here there are a total of 4 goblets. What? Oh, there. One, 2, a bone. 3. Okay. Let's see, I think I know a way to get up here. You can get up here by taking the normal path, but it's fairly lit. He hears that too, man. Oh, jeez. Let's instead just do it when he's on his way down. There, at least now we're dark. 2777. There were 3 gold goblets and 1 arm. Okay, we gotta go this way. This is an obvious trap. So don't step on that. Oh. I am being so careless here. I mean, this is a difficult place. This is the most difficult tomb in the mission, just because of the amount of light. Okay. These traps are already running when we come, so this is not our doing here. So we have to get up there. Here we can go this way, but it doesn't matter really where you go. Okay. Here's a golden bone. There's one more piece of loot in there too, so... Two fire arrows. So that actually can take you all the way back down to the bottom. Sorry, this wasn't the level I was talking about. I said that it doesn't matter what way we go, but it does here. Coming up a little bit. We're gonna go here, this way. Was there a patroller up there? Yeah, there was. Okay. So here's a goblet. Careful of that sleeping zombie. Goblet and a bone as well. Jump up here. So there, we could have gone up there earlier. It's also a sleeping zombie. Here's green vase, 2957. And here is a patrolling zombie. It's the very top level now. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Whoa. So now we have to make our way around here. Around another vault on the very top level to get to the vault where the Hand of Knoss is. That's the goal of us being on this level. Yeah. What makes these vaults difficult is that it's either dark or you are like bright yellow or even red. There's no... if you are illuminated, you'll get caught. It's like that. Speak of the sun and it shines. Literally. Or... How does he see me there? Good. That's a sleeping zombie. I don't think we can actually... Okay, well then we can probably actually do this if we go slow. There. I didn't think we could pass that area without waking him up or getting a growl. Now we're actually above the vault that we entered at first. Okay. There. Here lieth the golden skeleton of Radok the Alchemist. Well, it's a sorry-looking skeleton, so let's add to that. Here comes Radok. That is amazing. A skeleton without a torso. So now these actually became valuable. 3133. And we got a new objective too. The golden skeleton of Radok the Alchemist should fetch a bit extra as a complete set. Yes, it should. And now we have the Hand of Knoss. And we can't close this, and even if we... could, I don't know if we really should have. Okay. So here now, I think we can make things easier on ourselves by... dropping down here. Maybe it's better to do this. Yeah. be able to. I've done this before. Well, that's way too much. Or we can do that too. Okay. I guess we gotta wait for that zombie to follow it. So I have dropped before and mantled, but you can drop and sort of the momentum gets carried to moving you rather than hurting you. So you can do that, trick the engine a little bit into that. That's not an engine exploit though. It's... Oh no, wait. Wait. We are not actually going to... We're not going to go out this way. We're gonna... Oh! Oh. Okay, well that was pretty good, wasn't it? There we go. So now we're in the Burrick tunnels. Let's see. Some remains of things here. Let's head up here first. No way he saw me there. What? So here's the Burrick tunnel. Okay, I think I got caught there. Sounds like alerts to me. So that grunt there also sounded like an alert. The reason I want to come up here now because here is a purse. 3233. And it's difficult to get here because the apparition can see you. Let's wait for her to come by, I think. Oh, face. Look at that. Let's see, let's go down here. Okay. Jeez. If you go back, if you go south here, then you come out on the main level of the under cavern. We don't want to do that. We were going to go into the Burrick colony. There's a piece of loot in there that we want. But I actually think we have to go up here to get to that. I'm not sure. No. I think this is where we want to be. Here's a tomb that doesn't have anything in it. I believe we are safe here. We have to go left over there. There's 2 or 3 Burricks, I think, that patrol. Oh, come on. What, am I stuck behind a skeleton? There's another one coming. They're all coming at the same time. There's a difficult piece of loot in here. There's a stationary Burrick too, which is even worse. That's our way to leave, I think. Let's see, you saw the stationary Burrick there. That's the way to get this piece of loot. You know what, let's make a real save. I know we're making frequent real saves, that's not a problem. Here, I think we're actually safe. Yeah. So here are some dead Burricks, but a stationary one. And here, around the corner here, is a corpse with a purse. We need him to be stationed north. Absolutely we do. There's also a broadhead arrow there. Okay. So we can't be. Why are we? Oh, this sounds like he sees me. Come on, buddy, turn. When you come back... So I need to get to there before he turns around. There. Good, we got it. 33, 33. There. There's also a broadhead there. So, unfortunate traveler that's been killed. Yeah, I'm gonna get caught here, but I won't get caught this far up, so. Pull out your arrow if you don't go any brighter, then you should be good. Just about leaving. This is the last difficult part of the mission. The final tomb is a little bit tricky, but if you are slow there, it's not a problem. Now he comes back. Oh. Okay, we're good there. Good. 33, 33. That's what we should have. There is one more patrolling Burrick down here. He shouldn't be a problem. What? What? What was that? Do they like detect you by presence or something? No, by proximity? No. Okay, well, they didn't give the alert there, so we're fine. Dead end. Alright, so now it's just down all the way to the fire shrine. Go back up. No, that's not a way to go back up. Okay. This looks like a fire shrine to me. So here, if you use these stones, they will descend and disappear. So I don't want to do that. So let's instead jump across here. Should be able to do this without any of them actually falling. Go this way, around here. And then we come to the entrance to the crematory, I guess. So here is a quiver of 3 broadheads. And you're supposed to shoot an arrow, it doesn't have to be a broadhead, but any arrow into this button, and then the bridge extends. I don't like to use equipment if I don't have to, and this bridge can't be retracted. So we're going to try a little trick here. So if we can get a little bunny hop going. 3 then, I guess. Oops, not that far back. Man, I've gotten a lot of the black reloads here. Nope. Why can't I get this? That should be... There we go. Finally. Last 3 times I've done it before and did it in 2 or 3 tries. But okay, there you see the method. So now we come into the innermost part. Gold vase, plate, blue vase, necklace, and this is the ashes of Knoss right here. So we have 37, 33, and we have all of the objectives except for sneaking into the tomb and getting the grimoire. So here we gotta be a little bit careful. Because there are patrollers on the outside that can see us. Just like that. Now that we come back here, we're actually pretty close to the tomb itself. It should be here. So the unworthy cremated that which was left of me. So that should be the ashes, right? Gotta be careful here that we don't get spotted. The unworthy sliced my liver from my body. Did somebody see me there? The unworthy plucked out my right eye. The unworthy cut off my right hand. The unworthy tore my brain from my skull. Pulled out my stomach. Okay. And cut out my heart. Gonna be the last one. Here we go. Now this becomes an active lift. So we're going to go onto it and frob the diamond, and that will raise the lift up.
Here we go.
So we need to lower this lift. There. We gotta fob this back and then jump off. So that we can lower and reset it as much as possible. You can't reset any of the other stuff down there. So now we come to the final area. And there are patrolling haunts on the outer circle, but that's not too important. What's more important is a floating skull in the middle. That guy. He pivots. It pivots. So we want to make sure that we wait until it pivots away and then head down there. And there's a bunch of loot inside its casket, and then the grimoire is above. Don't like that. It doesn't give first alerts, which is very good, but I still want to avoid. So somebody saw me there. Dark down here. At least a fair extent. I think it faces pretty much every direction here. .8. There's a diamond in there too that I remember was a little bit tricky to reach. There, 4508, that's max for Supreme. There.
This'll make any fence crack a smile.
That was the main objective. Okay, now we can head out and leave this way right here. This reminds me of the tomb in Calendar's Legacy Mission 1, meeting with Basso. Just have to wait here until both of those pass. Okay. Turn around, buddy. No, we can't do that. it doesn't get first alerts, and it moves if it sees us. So there we go. This is the exit right here. Now, there is one other thing I want to show you, because remember the area that was caved in? Well, this is the other side of that. Here is a nobleman, Anastasia. So I'm not sure what this is referring to. Have I missed something of the story? Or is this maybe a personal reference to Nicked or something like that? I'm not sure.
Back door.
So this is the switch that was reachable from the other side. I think maybe this switch was closer. So now we come back here. And of course now we want to return this key, right? What do we have? Breath potion. Yep, there we go. That should be it. That door will be locked. Good. So to get out here, typically just jump, go past. We should be able to avoid the growl there. And that should be it. Fantastic. Such an awesome mission, this. That was a successful Ghost of Catacombs of Knoss Part 2. Perfect Thief is possible, because you can take all the loot that we skipped. Now we busted Supreme in one main area, didn't we? It was in the Nameless Ancient tomb pretty early on. We got 2 first alerts from the sleeping zombie when we were headed in to get the Talisman of Earth in one of the caves there. It sits right inside the entrance. There's no way you can elevate yourself enough. At least I haven't found a way to do that. But the definite guaranteed bust is when you take the Talisman of Earth, you trigger a trap. And you either have to leave the chest open or close it and trigger the traps again. So in total, I guess those are 4 busts. But that should be it. There were no other busts that I could notice, and I tried to reset and return everything I knew how to. So let me know if you agree with that assessment. We took 1 hour, 30 minutes, 34 seconds, 45:08 out of 49:73. We skipped 465 loot then in total. So we skipped 100 from a scepter in the King of the Night Sun because it was a light source. And then we skipped 4 more pieces of loot in the Hall of 100 Heroes. Each of those were in blue chests, and each of those were protected by traps, again. So traps in tomb missions is a big problem for Supreme. Luckily, it doesn't lead to any busts normally, because many times mandatory items are not always protected by traps. It is in this mission, but that wasn't the only bust for us. No locks picked, and no backstabs or knockouts, no damage dealt taken or healing taken, nothing and nobody killed. So in total, this campaign took 2 hours, 46 minutes, and 48 seconds of game time. We took 8680 loot and dealt no damage and received no damage. Awesome. I just love this campaign in total. This is a better mission than the first one, but I like the first one too. We are going to play Legacy of Knoss, which is the Thief 2 sequel. A single mission release, which I've played, which is also an amazing mission. It's a city mission with some tombs, but mostly city. But before we go there, we're going to start the Scarlet Cascabel, meeting at the Salty Strumpet. Is that the name of the first mission? That I have played and ghosted, so I will record that when I get a chance. That is also an amazing mission. Very different looking, I would say, than many of the ones we played recently. I have not played Mission 2 in that campaign, but I've heard that that is a pretty scary one and a good one, so I'm looking forward to that, of course. So Scarlet Cascabel, and then Legacy of Knoss, and then we'll see what we do after that. All right, hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you for your support as always. Stay safe, guys, and have a good evening.